And then in the 90s, late 90s, we started using silicone as prosthetics. Instead of foam latex or gelatin, we started using silicone for our little prosthetics on our aliens. So I was using that, and about that time, I started noticing I was getting chest wrinkles. Okay. And some of my actresses were as well. So I was like, I'm going to get rid of this. And around that time, coincidentally, I got thyroid cancer. I'm actually a 22-year survivor. But afterwards, they gave me a piece of silicone to heal my scar. And so I was like, wait a second.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join us in the Facebook community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, let's get social. Follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate it more than you know. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Additionally, Friends in Beauty is now on Patreon. So for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends in Beauty podcast. And there are also several tiers available that unlock Patreon exclusive content just for you, like behind the scene content of the Friends in Beauty podcast, bonus interview clips, a monthly Ask Me Anything, discounts, and so much more. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below in the show description for that as well. Also, if you'd like to stay connected even further, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. They are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different resources and tips throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, join us over there. And last but not least, listen up. The most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Emmy Award winning celebrity makeup artist and creator of SilcSkin, Camille Calvet, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Camille is an entrepreneur, a mother and wife, and a 2-time Emmy Award winning makeup artist with decades of experience covering up A-list celebrities' wrinkles and spots. While working on the set of Star Trek, Camille noticed how much smoother the actors' faces were when she removed the silicone mask they were wearing. Simultaneously, her doctor gave her a silicone patch to heal a scar, and in her words, it just clicked. In 1999, she went on to develop and create SilcSkin, a world leader in non-invasive wrinkle treatment. SilcSkin products are specifically designed to hydrate and smooth your skin, particularly on wrinkle-prone areas such as the brow, around the eyes, around the mouth, the neck, and the chest. The décolleté pad for the chest wrinkles can also be used on the stomach and butt area. SilcSkin has become the best-selling wrinkle treatment pads in the world and shows no signs of slowing down. I had such a lovely time chatting with Camille and learning all about SilcSkin. I had never heard about it before, so I was truly intrigued. In this interview, Camille shares her early beginnings as a special effects makeup artist, the cool projects that she's worked on that led to her Emmy Awards, the most disturbing character makeup she's ever done, the amazing story behind the idea for SilcSkin, the development of the brand along with its success and challenges, what sets SilcSkin apart from other similar products on the market, what's next for herself and SilcSkin, and so much more. If you are a special effects artist, you will love this episode. If you or someone you know have been looking for a wrinkle treatment or preventative care for wrinkles, tap in because Camille's got you covered. She essentially took her knowledge of prosthetics, paired with the healing power of silicone, and made something extremely innovative, and it's so fascinating. Let's go ahead and jump into this chat with Camille. And if you prefer to watch our beautiful faces, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Camille.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you about what you have going on. I've personally never seen anything like SilcSkin before. So I'm so excited to learn more about you and about SilcSkin today.
Great.
Before we jump into it, though, we have to start off with some icebreakers just to get us warmed up and so the Friends and Beauty audience can get to know you outside of beauty a little bit.
Okay.
So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Oh, boy. Okay. Let's see. I have twins, 17-year-old twins.
Okay.
I have been in California now for 42 years, from New Jersey originally.
Okay.
And I actually came out to LA to be a screenwriter and then fell in love with makeup effects.
Okay, I love that. Are your twins boys, girls?
Boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl? Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. I love
One
that.
time and done.
That's what I always say. If I ever get blessed to have twins, that is one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Got a boy and a girl, that's perfect. Okay, so are you a cat person or a dog person?
Both. We have both. I think I'm more partial to cats. Definitely.
Okay. I'm definitely a cat lady over here. I have a crazy cat named Cash that I found maybe like a little over a year ago, a little rescue cat.
They're all crazy, but I still love them.
Like so full of personality, is not even funny how much personality she has. Yep. So I have these things called pod decks that have these really random questions in it. One is a what the heck and a would you rather. This is what the heck and this is would you rather. Which one do you want?
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Oh, she's trying to have some fun. Most people always go for what the heck. I think because it's a green box and it just looks, friendly. But let's see. Would you rather spend a year living at a nudist colony or within the Amish community?
Amish.
Same thing. I don't want to be walking around seeing other people naked.
No. They don't need to see me either.
Yeah, I'm good. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Punctuality. Yeah, definitely always punctual and always creating things to make things go faster. Definitely. I'm always looking for the fastest route anywhere.
Okay, so
do anything.
Things that's being more productive, things
yes.
Get you done quicker, and punctuality is my thing. Like I can't stand being late somewhere. I always tell people if I'm late, then just know it was not in my control. Like I hate being late.
If you can't be on time, be early. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Only one listens to me though.
They'll remember back in the, in a few more years. What is something that you don't enjoy doing and why?
Let's see. Picking up dog poop.
For obvious reasons.
That's why I'm more of a cat person.
And I always tell people that too. Like, I don't have to walk my cat. I don't have to clean up. Well, I have to clean the litter box, but I don't have to clean up after her every single day. She pretty much takes care of herself. Just put her food out and show her.
Kids are supposed to do it, and they don't take care of the dog. So it's like, So moms always have to do it.
I was about to say it falls on mom. Absolutely. And the last one, if you weren't the creator of SilcSkin, what else could you see yourself doing?
Let's see. Screenwriting. Definitely
Screenwriting.
screenwriting, what I wanted to start doing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So you said you're originally from Jersey. When did you
Mhm.
move to California? 40.
1980.
Really?
Yes, because I was going to a film school in South Jersey, Stockton State,
Mhm.
and they had a great film program there, little school, but they had a new dean come in and they took away all the film because there was only a few kids in there, and they made it into a business school.
Okay.
So I could graduate as a photographer, but I didn't want that. I wanted to stay within film, and I couldn't afford NYU, which I would have loved to have gone to. So I packed up with a bunch of other kids and we camped across country because we didn't have enough money to even get hotels.
Mhm.
And I came out here. I was accepted to UCLA, but I had to wait 6 months to become a resident of California. And then by the time I got there, they wouldn't take any of my credits as undergraduate film student. So I ended up going to California State University, where I finished my film program.
Awesome, awesome. Have you dibbled and dabbled in screenwriting since then? Like
You
doing
know, I just found one of my first writings, and it was great because, you know, I think back now, I knew the world, I knew everything, and I didn't, you know, I was 20. And yeah, I just found one of them. I kept writing for some time. I would write various little intros to screenplays or ideas, but then you have kids and that all goes to the wayside.
Mhm. Were you a creative as a child?
Yes, yes, I was
Kind of thing
definitely.
to get to.
Yeah, I was an entrepreneur as a child as well. I would paint rocks and sell them door to door as door stops. I was always trying to make a buck. I was, you know, too little to work, so I would sell cats. I'd find cats and sell them. And my mother met her best friend because I sold her cat back to her for 25 cents.
I
So
love that.
yeah, I was creative in making some money.
Yeah, you had a little hustle in you, selling somebody
Yes.
back their own cat.
Yes.
I love that. So what ultimately led you into doing makeup from having an interest in screenwriting? What was that pivotal moment that was like, you know, I want to try makeup?
Well, I had finished film school, and I was actually babysitting for an actress, and she was dating a production manager. So I hustled him and said, "Hey, I just got a film school. Do you have anything? You're doing a film." Blah, blah. So he hired me as craft service, a PA, a production assistant, but I'm doing craft service, which was doing all the food for everybody. And it was on a little horror film with Barbie Benton from way back, this is the early 80s.
Okay.
And one of my jobs was to come in. They were doing a cutthroat gag on this actor, and blood would pour out. And so they brought me in. They said, "Can you, in between takes, can you clean up this blood?" And so I was just fascinated. How are they doing that? How did they make that neck spurt blood every time? So after I cleaned up the blood, I went into the makeup trailer, and I never left, and just started following Alan Apone is his name. He was my mentor. I just followed him around. And when the film was over, I went to his makeup lab, you know, and I had no experience. So he said, finally, he's like, you have to go to school. You have to go to makeup school. Okay. So I went to makeup school. And then the minute I got out, I went right back there and worked on my first film for him.
I love that. I love that so much. What makeup school did you go to?
Elegance International. It's called EDI or something now. It's still here in Hollywood.
Nice, nice. So did you go like straight into special effects, or did you like beauty as well?
I like beauty, and I had to learn it, of course. You have to know all your stuff, but I did go straight into special effects, working in all the labs. I was actually one of the original women in the 80s. There was not many women. We actually have a book about us called Leading Ladies of Makeup Effects. Okay. It came out about 2 years ago, because there was just a handful of us at the time.
Mhm.
We each lab had a girl, it seemed like each one, but yeah, it was difficult. You know, I was just like one of the guys dressed in baggy clothes, picked up my fair share of molds. It was like I wasn't gonna let them put me down just because I was a girl. I was
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Okay. Do you get to do like a lot of character work, or is it mostly like scars and like gory stuff?
I love character work. That's probably one of my favorites. But yes, I went on to I've done monster movies. I've done Friday the 13th. I've done, so I've done gore movies, horror movies. I love character when you're just, just a little something, maybe a little prosthetic to change their face. That is one of my favorites. Then I went on to Star Trek, and I was on Star Trek for like over 10 years.
Okay.
And I did the television series as well as every break you did a film as well. So
Okay.
I was doing aliens for a long time. So
Nice, nice. So when you do special effects like that, is it typically like a large team of people that's like working on one person to execute the look?
yes, to ultimately, yes, to create the look, the hair, the makeup, the sculpting, the mold making, the fabricating of the pieces. Yes, there's all these makeup effects labs, and then it goes and they bring it to you on set, and then you're on set and you do the application. And many times we have to double team with
Mhm.
another artist to do, because some of these are intense makeups.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you double team. So there's a huge, huge group that goes into that. On Star Trek Deep Space Nine, many days we'd have like 40 artists in doing the various aliens. And so there's always big teams. It's the
Wow.
collaboration, definitely.
Wow, I love that. That is so cool. I always wonder how people come up with like the idea for what the character is going to look like. Because I think is it Face Off or something like that on
Yes,
Netflix?
yes,
I used
yes,
to love that show so much, and just seeing the creativity behind,
yes.
stuff like
Michael Westmore, his daughter Mackenzie is the one that hosts it. Michael Westmore he's from the Westmore family of they go far as back as I think his great grandfather was Valentino's in the 20s and the talkies. He was
Okay.
their makeup artist, and each one of their brothers have run makeup departments for various studios. So yeah, I was with him on Star Trek, so I was right under him and just learned everything I could possible. But he's the creativity. He would come up with aliens right and left, and he would just come up some days, and we called it the Westmore alien. He would come up and he goes, "We need a new alien, to walk on the promenade," because it was like a space mall, and he would just grab into bags, foreheads, noses, whatever, put it all and go, "Okay, now put this on and do it in these colors." And so he's extremely creative.
I love that. Was Star Trek one of your like most iconic jobs that you had, or what other kind of things have you done?
Well, it was the longest, excuse me, allergies out here in California. It was my longest job that I was on for any amount of time. I think my most creative was when I worked with Tom Cruise for about a year. We did Vanilla Sky. And actually, I think I have a picture of it here.
Yeah.
Had to do like a palsy makeup on him.
Right.
And it was very challenging because he gives 100% and 110%, and you have to give at least 100 to
Right.
match his creativity. And our head makeup artist on that, Michelle Burke, she went through probably 350 designs until we settled on I think 3 or 4, and we did all the makeup tests, and he kept saying, if the makeup doesn't work, I can't do this movie. So it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot
Right.
of
Because
stuff
you got to
on
feel
us
the
right now.
character.
Yeah, so I think besides when I took my union test, that was the best I ever felt about doing a show. And when I finally saw it, I was like, I didn't want to close my eyes and grimace, because some other times you're like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done that. But Vanilla Sky was it was beautiful work. And it was definitely him really pushing us to you can't make errors. That's it. He doesn't make errors, and you're not allowed either. So,
Yeah. I love the pressure though, like that, not the pressure, but like, yeah, like a friendly kind of pressure to, get it right and
Yeah,
execute.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
what's the
that's the
longest?
best I ever felt.
I love that. What's the longest application that you ever had to do for one
Oh,
character?
one of my very, very first horror movies, The Unnameable. And
Mhm.
mind you, this is back when we didn't even have makeup labs. We were in garages. So, and we did this, it's a Lovecraft beast. Beautiful, beautiful. I wish I had a picture of her. Just gorgeous, kind of a lioness beast with wings and hooves and um, and gloves all the way up. She was covered her entire body, and then there was hair pieces that went over it. And it literally took myself and my boss, Chris Biggs at the time from Art and Magic Studios. It took us 12 hours to put
Wow.
her in. And then she worked for about 3 hours. And then we had to take, it was such a long day. And then it was another 2-3 hours of getting her out of it. But this again was in the 80s before we really learned how to fasten. It's before we would do full suits. A lot of times now we have fabricated full suits with muscles and everything. But because she was a ballet dancer, we wanted to see her body. So
Mhm.
all of the pieces were right on her. So, but we can do it faster nowadays. Thank gosh for the poor actors.
That just sounds like so much fun because I'm typically just a beauty artist. So the
And your
creativity.
work is fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Looks
thank you
so
so
good.
much. But I just get so fascinated by the other side of makeup, the special effects, because it's just so different and it's a totally different skill set that's required to execute and imagination to be able to execute those type of looks. And I love it so much. So if you all aren't watching on YouTube, you have to tune on YouTube because my eyes are so fixated on those Emmys back there.
Okay.
Like, what did you get your Emmys for?
Um, the first one I got was for The Stand. It was an Stephen King novel, and it's a mini series.
Okay.
I think it was 92 or 93. And my very first year that I was up for that one, I was also just started on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I was up against myself.
Uh-huh.
And but that's the one I won that year, and that was great. So it was brand new to me, and it was a long, hard shoot, and so that we got this recognition was great. And then the second one is for, I'm like looking back, trying to remember. The second one was for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where we did aging. So we actually won for aging instead of aliens.
Right.
But being on Star Trek, you pretty much got up every year because we did so much work. So I think I've been nominated another 11 times. And I only won 2, so I had to go to all of those. and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't win tonight. So
But hopefully the food was good and the experience.
it's fun because there's nothing glamorous about doing. Well, maybe your kind of makeup is glamorous, but we're special effects. No, you have blood all over. You got all kinds of stuff. So yeah, when we get to dress up and have a nice meal, it's fun.
Okay. So what is the story behind SilcSkin?
Well, since I came this background of special effects, we always dealt with silicone. We made molds out of silicone. So I was always familiar with silicone. And then in the 90s, late 90s, we started using silicone as prosthetics instead of foam latex or gelatin. We started using silicone for our little prosthetics on our aliens. So I was using that, and about that time, I started noticing I was getting chest wrinkles.
Okay.
And some of my actresses were as well. So I was like, I'm going to get rid of this. So I got to figure something out. So I knew that they were formed from sleeping on your side. And so I was like, I just need something as a barrier to keep your chest flat while you're sleeping. So I tried everything. I like collagen, but it just folds over, collagen pads or anything. And around that time, coincidentally, I got thyroid cancer. I'm actually a 22-year survivor. But afterwards, they gave me a piece of silicone to heal my scar. And so I was like, wait a second. Wait, I was like, just looking at it, and I was like, if I made this like a prosthetic and made it thicker, that would do it. That would give me my barrier. So I did. I made a little prosthetic, that like a little thing that you can just wear on your chest. So I had my barrier. It kept my skin flat, so it wasn't forming new wrinkles. But then I started, well, why does this help scars? How is this helping scars? So I got into the whole technology of the occlusion of it going over the skin and creating an occlusive barrier, which hydrates the skin. And so then I just really started looking into it. So I started treating wrinkles as if they were scars. It's mostly through hydration, but yeah, it was just an added benefit to it. So basically I created prosthetics and turned them into anti-aging things. So, you know, I always make fun. I always say I went from making people look like that to making them pretty. So, and because so many wrinkles are formed at night when you're sleeping, not just chest wrinkles, but nasal labials. You'll always see a deeper one on the side that you sleep on predominantly if you're a side sleeper. If you're not a side sleeper, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the best, but I wouldn't have a business. So their skin is beautiful. But even around your eyes, you get wrinkles caused from side sleeping.
I had no idea that's where wrinkles came from at all.
Well, they come from a lot of places, like collagen breakdown. And that's another thing that silicone does, is it helps with the irregular collagen structure of scars, because scars are irregular collagen. So it helps them flatten them out. But at the same time, wrinkles are broken strands of collagen. So it's working with them as well. But the basis is through hydration. It really is.
I can't wait to share this with my mother's friends, because they're always asking me, like, what can I do about this? I'm like, I don't know. They're gonna love this. They're always asking me what to do about wrinkles, or like just under eye stuff, and just, you know, the things that come with aging. They're always asking me. I'm like, I'm only like in my mid-30s. Like, I don't know. I don't know yet. How long did it take for the initial launch? So once you had this aha moment and you're like, oh wow, silicone, I've been using this on set, and you saw the results with, you know, your own scars and everything, how long did it take from the idea to actually like launching the product?
Well, I was still working, and we work sometimes up to 80 hours a week. So I just kind of launched it, and very slowly I built my own website, and my husband and I would package it on our dining room table if we got an order in. So it was just word of mouth. So it actually went on market in 2003, and just I did AdWords and everything. So I drew some people, but I wasn't really looking to put it out there. I, of course, got it into our local makeup shops, and I always had it on set with me. And I used it. Well, a very funny story is, because since I always had it, I was working with, excuse me, I was working with Rob Lowe, and he, you know, actors, when we have a lunch breaks, they go to sleep a lot. So he came in, and he had marks all over his face from sleeping on the thing. So I was like, oh, you got to go on camera in like 10 minutes. So I cut up the pad, put it on his face, and he said, is that your boob pad? I said, yeah, it is. So from then on, it became known as the boob pad. But it got rid of those wrinkles, and I would use them on models too. And they would come in, you know, for a shoot, and they'd have, you know, pants they're not supposed to, but something, they're doing a bathing suit. It can get rid of those. So it gets rid of a lot of other things I've used it for. But yeah, the launch was in 2003. And then I slowly started creating other products, the neck, and then for the whole face. Gotcha. And then I created a hand cream. So it just worked its way up until about 8 years ago, when I left the business just to do SilcSkin.
Okay. So you don't do special effects or anything anymore?
I do. It kind of got me back in. I went in last week to do Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, I did see that on your Instagram.
Yeah, and I think next week I'm supposed to go to NCIS and do some dead bodies. So yeah, I'm back into it. I kind of missed it a lot.
Okay, I love that. So who is SilcSkin like specifically for? Is it in like for like mature women, young women, or just anybody who has like those fine lines and things they want to get
You
rid
know
of?
what? It's predominantly started. I started developing these in my late 30s,
Mhm.
um, and so yeah, it's predominantly for women, 30s, 40s, for getting more mature. However, our iPads have become crazy popular with younger crowd, and it was because of Cassie Randolph, who is from The Bachelor. And
Okay.
she, unbeknownst to us, she said they're in her routine every day. It's her favorite thing from Amazon. She like did several of these plugs, how she does her nighttime routine. And she says, and I never sleep without this. So it went crazy because she uses it for preventative, which
Mhm.
is wonderful. So a lot of other young actresses, Zoe Deutsch, jumped on, and she's like, I use them as well. And so it was so they become super popular with the younger for preventative. So a lot of our stuff is for preventative. A lot are moving more towards no Botox or fillers, so
Mhm.
they're preventing it so they don't have to get it. And
Right.
you'll love our little iPads because I use them as shadow shields.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'll put them on my actors and it gets rid of puffiness in the morning, your actors, or you have any puffiness in the morning. And if you keep them in the refrigerator, they're really nice. They take down puffiness and they give a little treatment when you're doing a smoky eye. They can also be used right up here. I notice everybody, we used to do it in the 80s. They put something right there so they can make the cat eye.
Yeah.
They can be used for that too.
I
So
love that. That's what I always do. I always put something sharp there for a little.
yeah, these work great.
Mhm.
Right up there. I was like, okay, another
Okay.
use. So
Are
a
they
lot of our makeup artists have these in their kits.
nice? Are they reusable?
Yes, all of our pads are reusable for up to 30 days, and there's no adhesive on them. They're all completely 100% silicone, and it's the way that they're cured. They become inherently sticky, and
Mhm.
so you just put them on. They can be washed, and that stickiness does not get removed. It actually helps it stay longer. The adhesive quality, because it gets rid of all exfoliated skin cells, because they are very exfoliating,
Mm.
and it'll help it stick longer, up to 30 days. Our iPads, because they're much thinner, because you don't want to pull on the sensitive area under the eyes, they are used for 15 days.
Okay.
Um, and you don't have to wash these as much because they're supposed to be on clean, dry skin, so they shouldn't get anything on there.
Uh-huh.
But we give 6 in the pack, so our iPads are up for 45 days.
Okay. How often could somebody use them, or is it a such thing as overusing them, like doing it too much?
No, because well, they're made predominantly to when you're sleeping.
Mhm.
However, some people don't like it. They do warm up. I don't even feel them anymore. Um, but you can wear them any time of the day if you're around the house. Some people just wear the décolleté pad. It's like, oh, I'm going out tonight, and it's like I haven't worn it in a while because it works very fast, and it definitely works overnight, which is incredible because people see overnight results, which is always instant gratification. Is great.
Mhm.
But yeah, they can be worn anytime, so you can't overuse them.
I love that. I saw some of the before and afters too on your Instagram, and they're like really like
Yeah,
drastic, like
they
very
are.
apparent that there is a before and the after. Because sometimes you see these products and it's like, did it really do anything? But the silk skin, y'all, is doing something
All
amazing.
of our before and afters are like 2 weeks apart,
Mhm.
and everyone you see is from my kids' grade school. And so they are the nurse, the moms, the baseball moms.
Yeah.
Every one of them were people I knew, and I was like, "Hey, do you do you want to do this?" They were grandmas of the kids in the school.
Right.
So yeah, they were all real people, and just I would approach them and say, "Hey, would you want to do a shoot for me?"
Yeah.
And they all wore them for 2 weeks at night, and yeah, these results were outstanding.
Wow. Wow. I love that. Do people generally have allergic reactions to silicone, like with latex? I know a lot of people have latex allergies, but
Yes,
silicone
that's
is.
why we have no latex, we have no fillers. There is not a lot of allergic reactions to silicone. It's very, very safe. That's why they use it in the medical field,
Mhm.
especially, for wound healing. And I think over 22 years, I've noticed only 2 people that have an actual allergy to silicone, and one was my hairdresser. Yeah,
Wow.
unfortunately, but
Wow.
he did have a little break. Usually, if we see any kind of reaction or rashes, it's because somebody's worn a product underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So because what it does, it turns the pads into transdermal. So it's pushing what's ever there. Some people have tried to put uh, hydroxy acids or something on their skin and put it over, and they'll have the complete outline. I was like, did you wear something under that? They're like, oh,
Right.
just a little acid. And it's like, no. But that's the only time we really see a reaction, other than those 2 times that definitely was dermatologist said, yes, they have a reaction to silicone.
Okay. Okay. What's the biggest myth, I guess, that you hear over and over again about wrinkles or just aging that people have?
Ah, I don't know. There's so much that comes out. You're just hit with stuff all the time.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. One of the biggest myths is that you can't do anything about it,
Mhm.
because I definitely think you can. I think you can, I think you can prevent it. I've done it hopefully to myself. I'm 62.
Okay.
So
Yes,
so
looking like
it's like I've been
42.
wearing them for 22 years. And I was like, I think I stopped the aging on my chest, definitely.
Uh-huh.
So I think that things can be done and doesn't always need needles and other stuff like that. Though, hey, I'm all for Botox and everything. If you want to do it, go for it.
Yeah. Do a lot of men get into it in using the product?
Yes, especially our forehead pad, which I don't
Okay.
have right here, but we have one for the whole forehead. They love that one. In fact, on one show I was doing, David Lyons was the actor, and it was a superhero type of thing, and it's called a cape, and he had this cape, and he had this thing that was pushing into his head and everything. So we started using the forehead pad under it, and he's like, wow, look at my forehead afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. So I would send them to him. He tried to buy the company for distribution in Australia, where he's from, but I
Mm-hmm.
already had a distributor there.
Right. I saw you had like a hand cream or something too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it's amazing. I have to send you some.
Oh,
It's especially for the winter. It's the same thought behind it. I'm using scar technology for anti-wrinkles. So this is the same idea that I'm using scar material. So it's still silicone, but think of
mhm.
Mederma, the
Yeah.
Mederma you put on little scars. So I created a hand lotion, but with that as an ingredient, the silicone as an ingredient.
Mhm.
And so again, treating wrinkles as if they were scars. And this creates such a wonderful barrier on your skin.
Mhm.
You'll see water will actually bead up on it. So during the pandemic, we ran out because we sent to first responders, nurses. Now I
Mhm.
have so many nurses that are customers because they just loved it. It saved their hands during all the hand washing and everything.
I love that because I know one of the things I guess for everybody, like they always say, like your hands and like your chest area would tell like your age. So if
Yes.
you keep those, areas wrinkle free, then people would never know how old you are.
Yeah, unfortunately, I invented it too late because after so many years of my hands in acetone and alcohol every day. So I
Uh-huh.
definitely needed it then.
Okay, okay. Let's play a game of never have I ever. I forgot to tell you about this. So I have a never have
Oh,
I ever statement for you. If this has happened to you before, like share the story behind it. If not, then I guess, yeah, if not. So look, never have I ever created a character that genuinely made me scared. Like, have you ever created like a character on a set that you were like, this is just too real looking, like I'm kind of scared?
Hey, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I have something to tell you real quick. Did you know that I created a Patreon? Look, podcasting is fun. I absolutely love it, but it is not cheap. And there have been so many people who have reached out to me that want to support the show somehow and keep the good vibes flowing. So I thought, why not create a Patreon? For as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends of Beauty podcast and join a community of other loyal supporters of the show, just like you, okay? There are other tier levels available that unlock tons of exclusive Patreon-only content like behind-the-scenes clips, bonus interview content, monthly calls with me, discounts, and so much more. But no matter what tier level you decide to choose, I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to give you a shout out on the podcast when you join. So, if you'd like to be a part of the exclusive Patreon community for the Friends of Beauty podcast, I'll leave the link right here and down below in the show notes for you to join. And as always, I appreciate your support so, so much. Now, let's go ahead and jump back into the episode.
Yeah, and it happened for a lot of people on this movie. The movie was called The Cell, and it was with J-Lo.
Yes, I
And
remember.
the character was truly evil in his mind. We had so many people quit because of they just didn't feel comfortable with this. And I have to say that his character, Vincent D'Onofrio's character, and I had to do things like he had hooks down his back to be yeah, it scared me. I didn't like being around him. Most of the actors, because if they get really into that character, they become it. And you could just, there was evil. It was evil. And yeah, I did not like his character at all.
Wow, that is so interesting. And they really do like start to embody these characters. I always wonder on like those kind of sets, like horror movies or, things like that, if it's things going on set, because like you're creating that energy or bringing that energy, like that dark energy onto the set. And then, like you said, the characters embody it. So when they say cut, like they're still in character and walking around,
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Because I did so many of the slasher movies in the 80s and they were more tongue in cheek. Mm-hmm. It wasn't so evil, but I gotta say that one was, okay. That was the only one.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back and watch The Cell so I can see exactly the character you're talking about. Yeah. So when you developed SilcSkin, or even from development up until now, have there been any like challenges or unforeseen hurdles that you had to overcome?
Well, originally I started having the products made in China for the expense, and it was just the inferior products, and I didn't know what I was getting, and I really didn't want to be that person to bring stuff to people that they're putting on their sensitive chest or their face or under their eyes. So that was a hurdle I had to overcome, and I brought it all back to the States, and I have it made very close to me. I could manufacture it myself, but I would need a huge place. So I do have it manufactured in an FDA approved facility, and where I can go and see it and create it. It's in a sterile room. That was a big hurdle. And the other thing is that we have so many knockoffs now coming in from China. And I mean, they take your exact copies and they knock it off, and you can't fight it because they're just another one comes right up, and they sell them on Alibaba for pennies, and they're not using 100% silicone. We don't know what they're using. They cause a lot of rashes and everything. So that was a big hurdle because people were like, oh, look at this, same thing, cheaper. And then they always come back because they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's a reason it's cheaper. So that was definitely a hurdle, that there were so many copycats. Since we were the originator, it's like people come back to us. We do have the quality, and we stand behind that 100%.
Okay. Is there like a process or any, I don't know if it's like paperwork or regulations behind getting medical grade silicone at the capacity that you're getting it?
No, because it was, luckily for us, though I insist on an FDA approved facility, this type of silicone was downgraded to like a level 1. So it's It doesn't have to be FDA approved. I just like to have it in that facility, for the quality reasons.
Yeah.
But yes, there's definitely paperwork, and I have it in a lot of other countries, so I have to go through all that paperwork to get it approved, because some of theirs have to be approved.
Got you.
So yeah, we have to go through all of that.
Okay. How'd you all manage during COVID?
We did well. Predominantly, we were selling to estheticians at the time, and they all shut down, and I felt so bad. So we created a drop shipping program for them, so that they could send these products, because they are for home care. So they would send their clients the products, and at the same time, because we had to keep it up, we had to up our thing on Amazon. We just upped our entire storefront on Amazon and worked on that, because everybody was inside, and yeah, you do self-care, so you're doing your own facials, we made it through. Definitely. And because of that, because people did do it. But yeah, I felt so bad for our estheticians.
Yeah,
it hurt them so bad.
it really did. I was telling somebody else that on another episode, because I have a close friend who's an esthetician, and they in Virginia was very strict on in what they wanted them to have in place in order to reopen, and it took forever.
Yes.
It took forever. Oh my gosh. I just love the idea. I'm over here thinking about so many people that I can tell about SilcSkin, because like I think it's something that's really innovative, and that people really enjoy, especially like with the whole self-care aspect of things going on now. I think people are really going to enjoy learning about SilcSkin if they haven't heard about it already.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes. How has the way that you've marketed SilcSkin changed since the beginning up until now?
We've gone through the Facebook, and then to the Instagram, and now TikTok. So I'm actually enjoying making TikToks now, because at my PR, they don't do that. So, but yeah, now we have to have a PR company, and it's with all the marketing. It's so much from where I started on my little tiny, I made my own little website and everything. Yes, we've had to grow, of course, with our thing, but sometimes the amount of work for that, it's like, all I say is, I really like to go make a monster today. So I just want to paint something that's not going to argue back, or
right. I totally get that. Are there any like pros or cons that you've seen with selling on Amazon?
It's tough. Amazon is so tough, because they try to get your products so they could sell it under MAP. And there's been like a lot of issues recently. We've had some of our international distributors sell back to people on Amazon, and they go under MAP, or our pricing. So there's always that. And we try to keep a strict MAP pricing because of our estheticians, because they're the little guy. And then when their customers like, oh, I can find that on Amazon, so much cheaper, and it'll be here tomorrow. Right. So we want them to still have that, because you trust your esthetician or your nurse or whatever, who's saying, I use this stuff, it's great, it's safe and it's effective. So I want it coming word of mouth from our estheticians. And so that definitely hurts them when stuff like that happens on Amazon. And Amazon themselves, they will try to overrun you. So I actually have to have a whole team now. Because up until the pandemic, I just ran it myself, because it was kind of a secondary. So yes, now we have a full team that knows all the ins and outs. So because Amazon will change its algorithms every day, something's going on with them.
Exactly. Oh gosh.
So, yeah, definitely love hate.
Okay. So what do you want your legacy to be, like with yourself or with SilcSkin?
Well, I'd love to see my daughter take over, though she wants to be in the FBI. She'll be coming out by you, I think, to go to school. Okay. But she even said, I said, oh, maybe I'll just sell this when I retire someday. And she's like, no, it's mine. So I'd like to pass it on to her. I definitely want to go back into makeup for a while and see what I can do there, since I've been out of it for a while. Since this kind of almost runs itself, so I can get back and do some of that. So yeah.
I love that. I love a good pass down of a business to the children. I love
Yeah.
it. Anything coming up next for you?
No, not really. We're working on an hyaluronic acid serum. Also looking into peptides and that on that front. And like I said, going back to doing some makeup. So
Mhm.
now that my kids are driving now too, so I don't have to, take them to school every morning. So
Right.
this whole business was a blessing because I had tried so hard to have kids. And then when I finally had them, I'm working 80 hours a week. And it was like, so I had finally made that decision, just go with SilcSkin and make it work. Just push for that, do that. And I was home with the kids when they needed me. I got to go to all of their stuff at school. And so it was such a blessing. But now they have one more year off to college. And
Mhm.
so I'm going to go back and make some monsters.
Okay, I love that. This has been great. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Before you go, though, I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire questions that
Oh,
you're
no.
anticipating so much,
Oh, no. Okay.
but you'll be great. I know you'll be great.
We'll see.
Yes. So the first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Persistence. That is the number one. Don't ever, ever say you can't do anything. That's probably number 2. It's like fake it till you make it. Say, I can do it, and then just go and do it. And
Mhm.
then efficiency. Definitely efficiency.
Okay, okay. And how do you measure your success?
Sometimes I don't think I'm like, oh, I failed at that. But I measure them mostly through my kids, my
Mhm.
success that I got to do that, and it was a hard road. And yeah, I'm very successful with the kids, and I know I'm successful at makeup because I have those 2 little Emmy things.
Yeah,
So, but I still have to tell myself, eh.
you
You
gotta
got
hype
to think
yourself
about
up.
it, gratitude every day.
Absolutely. What's the best advice you've ever received or a piece of advice that's just always stuck with you?
I think an English teacher, Miss Matil, who I'm still friends with on Facebook. She she was the one that kind of pushed me into. She had a class where we did television production. That was my absolute first love. I was going into film, and that was that. But also my writing, because she
Mhm.
told me I could do anything and I could go anywhere, and I could be anything. And that was my motive behind coming all the way out to California and camping. And when they did write that book about us, I dedicated my chapter to her
Oh,
because she said
nice.
I could do anything.
I love that. That's so sweet. Oh, shout out to her. That's so
Yeah.
nice. What advice would you give to another beauty brand owner right now who is just not seeing the results that they want with their brand and they're just ready to give up?
I don't like giving up. So, and yes, there's many days you want to give up, but I just always persist and just keep pushing, find other ways. You can find other ways. Don't give up. And so many times I'm like, oh, just want to give up. But it's like, no, there's something else. Like, um, our estheticians haven't fully come back yet. They're writing. So now so I decided, what would be a great people to hit for this are brides because of the low dresses. So I designed this whole campaign, and we just started it. And today I got my first bridal salon signing up for a wholesale account. So that's it. So I'm just finding another way. So one path is blocked, and I'm taking another route.
I love that. Just like the pivot or just the creative different ways that you can, get other people involved. I like that idea for bridal because they want to look like so, picture perfect on their
Perfect.
day and at the honeymoon and all of that.
And a lot of brides are older these days. So, and
Mm,
mothers of the brides, they want to look great too.
so true. Okay. What's a resource that has helped you in your business that you could share with the friends and beauty community?
Oh, let's see, a resource. It had to be through my makeup connections, because that was the biggest resource I had. That's all I knew how to do. So
Mhm.
it was through those connections. And when I first started, it was I had friends that were doing other, they had created other makeups. Like I had a friend that had, he had done tattoos. So I was like, after him, it's like, oh, I love your packaging. And so he did his packaging very much like mine. He turned me on to who does his packaging. So I had to rely on, even though they weren't all necessarily going into the beauty business, but rely on their experience starting their own brands too, because I had none.
Yeah. I love that because that's how Friends in Beauty was basically built, was off of community and just networking and building those relationships. And it's so important just for the simple things like that, of knowing where to get your packaging or having ideas for design and bouncing ideas off of other people,
Yes.
regardless of what industry they're in. We could always help each other.
Yes.
I love that. The last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is, love these faces. My name is blank. And the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
My name is Camille Calvet Della Santina, maiden and married. What was it? Key to success or key to longevity?
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop. Don't give up, and just keep going. It's like everyone's like, oh, when are you going to retire? It's like, don't think I'm going to. My 82-year-old mother-in-law still runs a candle shop here in LA, and she still makes all of her candles for all the movies you see. So it's like, don't stop. You don't have to stop.
Mm-hmm. Don't stop. All righty. Well, before you go, share your social media information and however you would like people to connect with you and SilcSkin.
Well, we're under SilcSkin, SILC for silicone, SKIN, and we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I'm having fun with, and all the other ones. You can always info@silcskin.com, our website silcskin.com, and I can always be reached through there as well.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Camille.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.